Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How are you tonight? I hope that you are excited. I hope that you're here to learn. And I hope that you're looking forward to this wonderful conversation as we engage on matters. It's men's mental health. And therefore, um, it's Men's Mental Health Month. Sorry about that. And we will be having that conversation shortly. So my name is Grace Nzula. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're here for the first time, this program is called Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m., where we talk about different issues that affect both employers and employees. And we have been doing this since COVID, since June. Actually, we are celebrating, I think this next week, we'll be celebrating our 4 years in consistently doing this. Of course, we are in season 6. I think the first year we had 2 seasons where we got to take a break. After that, we have really not taken a break. We have been running throughout the year from the 3rd week of January to the 4th week of November. So we are very excited. So my name is Grace Nzula. I host this program with my co-host, Madam Catherine Sidandi. Catherine Sidandi is our sign language interpreter who supports us in being inclusive. Catherine, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for the good job that you do. And if you have an event that you're looking to have sign language interpreters, please don't forget to get in touch with Catherine Sidandi. She'll be able to support you and make you more inclusive so that information can be passed along to every one of us. So thank you very much, Catherine Sidandi. And then, of course, this is Atara Solutions. It's brought to you by Atara Solutions. Atara Solutions is a HR consulting and training company. If you have a HR need, if you're looking to review your policies, if you're looking to carry out a HR audit, if you're looking to recruit your employees, or you're looking for support in recruitment, if you're also looking for people to support you in setting up systems in your organization and streamlining your organization, or if you know someone who is running an organization and they don't need a full-time HR, then they can outsource the HR function to us and we'll be able to support them on people matters. So in a nutshell, that's what Atara Solutions does. Now, Get It Right with Atara Solutions is in partnership with a number of organizations, and allow us to give them a shout out shortly, so that then they can know that we appreciate their partnership, and also welcome you to our event this Saturday. This is on Men's Hangout, which will be happening this Saturday, and we'll be letting you know about that shortly, just in a bit. So our partners on Get It Right with the Atara Solutions are all right. My screen is misbehaving. Just 1 minute. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have these partners. We have Pathways Solution Services. Pathways Solution Services is led by our good friend Frank Wambare, who was our speaker last week on Gen AI. They have learning opportunities on their LMS. LMS is Learning Management System. And if you're a follower of Get It Right with the Atara Solutions, you actually get to have a percentage discount. So you get to have access to their learning on their website. You can Google them, Pathway Solution Services, and you can be able to see the trainings that they offer and take advantage of the offers you get from Atara Solutions. And then we have Nile Front Cottages. Nile Front Cottages is their cottage is located in Jinja, Uganda. Now, Jinja is 2 hours from the Busia border if you're coming from Kenya. If you're from Kampala, Jinja is about an hour and a half drive from Kampala, and you'll be able to get a treat for yourself. Nile Front Cottages have one of the most beautiful views I have ever seen. They have their sunsets and sunrises are just wonderful. Then it's located just a few meters from where River Nile and Lake Victoria actually meet. It's such a beautiful place. And then the views from your room, my God. And then we have Ellesmere Lodge. Ellesmere Lodge is a hotel located in Naivasha. If you're looking to take a vacation, location, whatever vacation you're looking for, if you're just in Naivasha and you're wondering what to do with yourself as you wait for something to take place, you can just drive down to Ellesmere Lodge or take a matatu through there. And you'll be able to get beautiful views. You'll be able to learn. They have a museum. They have a movie about Elsa. Elsa is a lion. They also have, it's a conservative as well. So you get to also go to the education center and learn more about the animals they have there and the conservation. So such an awesome place. I keep saying, if the day I want to write a book, I'll definitely do it from Ellesmere. It is very serene. And then we have Labor Planet. Labor Planet are into labor outsourcing. So if you're looking to outsource manpower, then Labor Planet are your people. We have Steadfast Quality Solutions Limited. Steadfast Quality Solutions are HR and PR consulting company located in Kampala. If you're looking to have your boards assessed or evaluated, if you're looking for board evaluation or board assessments, board trainings, anything that has to do with governance in your institutions, then Steadfast Quality Solutions will be able to provide that for you. And then we have K Square HR Services. They're located in Rwanda. K Square HR Services, of course, wait, sorry. So Steadfast Quality Solutions is in Uganda, Kampala. They deal in matters governance. So for your board trainings, board evaluations, and anything to do with your board of directors, then Steadfast Quality Solutions will be able to support you on that. And this one is led by my good friend, Herbert Zake. Thank you very much, Herbert Zake, for your support. Get It Right with the Tara Solutions wouldn't be happening, especially in Kampala, if it weren't for you. So thank you very much for the support around Uganda. And then, of course, we have K Square HR Services. This is a HR consulting company located in Kigali, Rwanda. If you're looking for training on anything HR, soft skills, among others, then K Square HR Services will be your people. They actually have HR for non-HR training coming up, and you should be able to sign up if you're from Rwanda. And then, of course, they're part of the planning of the Africa HR conference that's happening in Kigali, Rwanda, sometime in August, and I'm sure in due course we'll be letting you know more about that. And then we have Essence Pack for all your waste management support. We have Capula Mintito for your coastal snacks. You can check them out on Instagram and Facebook. We have Panessa Training Institute for your training on matters woodworking and to be able to understand wood better. We have Wicklin for your carpet cleaning and sofa cleaning. We have Profiles International. They offer Genos Emotional Intelligence certification. And then we have Festac Africa. This is a festival that's taking place in August in Kisumu here in Kenya, just to celebrate Africa. And then we have my favorite, whatever in this season, we have the men's meet and greet, which is happening this Saturday, where it is going to be happening at ABSA here in Nairobi. So let me just share a better flyer. So this is what the speakers that we'll be having on this weekend at ABSA. So we have Simon Mbevi, who is one of the awesome speakers when it comes to matters family. So he'll be speaking on the father factor. And then we have our keynote address. If you ever listen to Spice FM, you know C.T. Muga. He's one of the wisest people that we have on our radio screen, or rather radio waves in this side of the country. And then our MC is none other than Chris Sakwa. He's a wonderful, you guys will be cracking. And I am told that the ladies are looking for their mustache. My friends, even me, apparently, I'm not allowed in. So unless you are sitting with me at the registration desk, this is a men's affair. And men, all of you are invited to this session. Please come and learn more. This is your month. The month of June is yours. So from today, the conversation we are having, and of course, from going forward to the weekend, we will be celebrating the men in our lives and just trying to work together and just have a wonderful time together in terms of networking and all that. So I hope that you will be ready to come in and network and learn, eat, and just get to hang out with the fellow men here in Nairobi at Absa Grounds on Thika Road. So without further ado, allow me to also introduce my good friend, our speaker today. His name is Moffat Kago, and he's a family therapist. He's one person who believes that family needs to stay together, and we will talk about that. But he is also very passionate about men and men's mental health, and that's why he's here with us tonight. And allow me to just welcome Moffat. He will tell us more about what he does, where he practices, and then as he tells us about redefining masculinity. Karibu sana Moffat.
Asante sana. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
I'm trying to open the video, but it can't.
Yeah.
Inasema cannot start video.
Cannot. You may need to log out and log back in.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because you need to activate the video part. Join with video. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. Then.
All right. Hi, Jacob. I see you. How are you? It's been a minute, Jacob Kagina. I haven't seen you, I think. Were you here last week? Skimos, good evening. Ronald, hi. Jacob, okay. Lena Miriti, hi. And you can just engage me on the chat. What do you think about men? Like, what are some of the things that you've had or been told? If you're a man or you've had men being told that you don't think is in line with supporting the men's mental health, what have you had, or what are these whatevers that happen that make us increase stigma when it comes to men and showing emotions and what we have as ideally what we want to call masculinity? So, what were you told? Keep quiet, stop crying, man up. What else have you been told or had men being told? Or when we were talking, somebody was telling me that if you're discussing mental health, I do want to mean that I am nuts. And that's part of what we have been trying to do in Atara Solutions by trying to demystify and just discuss matters mental health. We can see you now, Moffat. You have gone. You're on mute if you're trying to speak.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know whether I have cut you short.
No, it's okay. Just seen somebody read, men don't cry. Be a man. Yeah, so you can keep them coming. Men are strong and courageous.
Asante sana. Thank you. Thank you so much, Grace. I appreciate this wonderful session to talk about men. I don't know whether, is this a men-only meeting or except the sign language?
Are you trying to say I'm a man? No, it's not men only. I have my friends, Peggy is here, who says, man up, bwana. What other men tell their friends? She's the lady. Agatha Kibai is here. Alice Naziwa is also here. No, we opened the session to both men and women because we believe if women can understand men and that part, then we are raising a balanced society. So yes, we are here. Yes, Christine Kimathi, yes, we are here. Tuko, sisi tuko. Jared said, stop behaving like a lady. Wacha umama. That is what we say in Swahili for the Ugandans and Rwandese who are here. Rwandans, sorry.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Zula. Grace, I appreciate you. for giving me this opportunity to discuss a few things about masculinity. My name is Moffat. Moffat is a counselor psychologist as well as marriage and family therapist. And I also serve as the CEO of the Kenya Counseling and Psychological Association. And at the same time, I run a counseling hub called Mushauri Therapy Hub. This is where people come for therapy, families, marriages, and anything that threatens your mental, psychological, emotional well-being. So I'm so delighted to come and talk about masculinity. And I like how you have started. It's like you are reading my mind, because I was going to ask what are some of the phrases or statements we have heard about men. And I have seen quite a number of responses that wacha umama. I have also seen men don't cry. I have also seen, did I see mwanaume ni ploti, mwanaume ni gari, mwanaume ni wallet, mwanaume ni loan? So those are some of the things that we have heard. And then, of course, we have also heard that men don't cry. And in other words, men are not supposed to express emotions. And I know this is, we do have some men today, and I can see mwanaume ni shamba, men who are still struggling with the way manhood has been defined, from time immemorial, that, a man ought not to do this or that. This is for women, and some stuff like that. So therefore, allow me to take us through a number of things here. I don't know whether there's a video here that I would have loved, and I saw you, Grace, saying that. Let me see. I was trying to share a short clip here to just and demonstrate to us how it all starts. I hope I'll be able to share. Host has disabled the sharing of screen.
Oh, I think when you left, you came back. Just 1 minute. You ready?
Okay. Let me see if it is going to show a screen here of a little boy. Let me see. Yes. Are you there? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
So I would want us to listen to this clip. I hope it's going to have a voice from your end. The sound from your end. Oh, sorry. Oops. Big boy. Big boy, don't cry. You got it. Don't cry. Don't cry, me, Mary. Oh, big boy. High five. High five. Say you a man. I'm a man. Say, I'm sorry, so I'm gonna laugh at you. It's okay. High five. High five. Take a high five.
Good job. You want to come down? I'll come down once you sit.
I'm a man. I'm a man.
Good, 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 good. I don't know what you have picked. I hope it was audible enough from your end.
I've had big boy, don't cry. You're brave, big boy. You're a man.
What else? Maybe we can write hapo kwa chat. I'm a man. This boy has been made by the people around him to suffer what I would call conflict of emotions, in that he has been subjected to pain, he has been injected, and some people around him do not want him to express how he is feeling at that particular time. And therefore, in as much as it is a moment of pain, he is expected by the world around him to suppress the pain, not to be congruent with the current situation, but to just wear another face, suppress the pain, and put a face to the world that it is okay. And this is now what I would call the erroneous patriarchal definition of masculinity. And I know sometimes when we are faced by some difficult situations, it becomes quite a challenge for us to be congruent, or for us the feelings to match. And many times you realize that men have been made to wear two faces. Now, and I need to say that men experience the earliest stirring of a male identity at war with itself. They are immunized against deeper emotional honesty. Results to far-reaching, often devastating consequences. Men don't often exhibit emotion because we are taught that it is weak to do so. Men don't cry. That is just a statement to say that men ought not to express their feelings, their emotions, because crying is just one of the many emotions. As a matter of fact, you will realize that if I may say, like myself, I grew up with a grandfather who hated a man laughing, not just crying, laughing. And you know that hysterical laughter, he really hated it. And he would say, "Why are you laughing like a woman?" You know? And therefore you are wondering, am I expected to laugh? I'm not expected to laugh. I'm not expected to cry. I'm not expected to express any emotion. Because for him, he really hated that you are a man, and a man is a warrior. You are not supposed to just to express emotions anyhow. And therefore, some of us are coming from such backgrounds where we have been taught that this is how a man ought to be. The truth is, we do get emotional. We just don't feel safe to express our emotions, because as I will be demonstrating, men can only express their emotions, their feelings, when they feel that they are safe, that they're in a safe space. And therefore, for a man to become vulnerable, there has to be an assurance and reassurance that his environment, he is in a safe space to do that. That is what I have discovered even as I walk with men. The other thing that we are saying is that man's socialization has forced him to be two-faced. You are wearing two faces. There is the private face outside of the public eye, which is to a large extent always trapped in pain. Trapped in pain. Then there is the second face. This is the public face that shows no weakness. As a matter of fact, I like saying that one of the 10 commandments of men is that thou shalt not feel. I think we are going to some other time look at the 9 commandments. We have only talked about one. Thou shalt not feel. That is one of the 10 commandments of men. And men feel, but they do not know how to put their feelings into words. And when a man feels and he is not able to put his feelings into words, this is a condition that we call normative male alexithymia. Normative male alexithymia, when a man is feeling extremely overwhelmed to the point that he loses the language to express how he feels. Therefore, what happens after this is now what we usually say that somebody has done the unthinkable. Because when you see somebody taking a machete and hacking someone to death, they begin to erupt. I usually tell men that is communication in itself, because that person is saying, I am overwhelmed. I have lacked words to express how I feel, and therefore I can only act. And when they act in that state of mind, then it goes without saying that they are likely to cause havoc. So that's what we are saying, that normative male alexithymia, they are socialized. A man has been socialized to be a man that is independent and is strong, that they don't need anyone else and are not vulnerable. That's the socialization, not vulnerable, not able to share their feelings with anyone, not able, and especially when they are going through a rough patch and they feel like sharing is weakness. And as a result, we continue suffering without having someone to share with how we are feeling. And you know what? When somebody suffers normative male alexithymia, we say that they are not able to express their feelings. And therefore, in layman's language, I would say that such a man suffers what I call emotional illiteracy. Emotional illiteracy is when you are not able to understand your own emotions, and therefore, if you cannot understand your own emotions and feelings, it becomes so hard for you to understand how others are feeling about you and about what you are making them feel. As in, you are not able to pick their feelings. And that is why this same man who is erupting and doing the unthinkable and hacking their women to death, they are so dead to how it feels to kill a person. Because in the first place, you don't understand yourself. I hope at that point we are together. Thank you. So, normative male alexithymia. Now, allow me once again to share something here, because I would want us to, let me see. Don't know where it is disappearing to, but if it can't appear, can't see it on my screen. But what I wanted to say is that I just pray this is going to work. Let me see. Anyway, we can just continue. I'm going to explain. So what I wanted to say is that when we get frustrated, when frustration enters into a man, and it is fair to say that in this life, we cannot run away from frustrations. We cannot run away from it. We saw a lot of it happening during COVID. You know, somebody who was not used to, you know, staying at home and business has collapsed. A lot of things happened and men felt frustrated. Now, the first door, when we get frustrated, the frustrations always try to get an exit point. That is how we have been designed naturally. That is how God designed us. That when we get frustrated, it is okay to be frustrated. It is human to be frustrated. But then what do we do after we get frustrated? Now, the first door through which frustrations ought to flow out is the door that we call the door of change. Okay, that's the diagram I wanted to share with you. The door of change. But then the question is it everything we are able to change? Of course, no. Now you can imagine somebody who grew up being told that you're a fighter, nothing is impossible, and women are now wanting to overtake us. They are saying whatever a man can do, a woman can do better, and therefore nothing is impossible. You know, in this life, as a matter of fact, I have even heard statements like, no man is limited. And we have, you know, taken that, and that is what we are running with. No man is limited. You know, nothing is impossible. I can do everything. And then here comes a situation that you cannot hack. You get frustrated. The way we are wired is that this frustration ought to flow out in any of these three doors. Only one door is the healthy door. The rest of the doors are not very healthy. The door number one through which frustrations can flow out is the door that we call the door of change, meaning that maybe you have got some strength or you have got some potential and you have been able to, you know, probably overcome a situation and you've been able to sort yourself out. Okay? That means you have been able to overcome that frustration. But then there are times when that door of change does not respond, does not open for you to, you know, for the frustrations to flow out. So the next door, remember the frustration is trying to get its way out. The next door is the door that we call the door of embracing futilities of life. Now, this door ought to remain open all the time, because if you close this door, and we have seen many men, the door of change has refused to go your way. Now the only remaining door is are two doors: the door of embracing the futilities of life, accepting that you are not able to do it, so that again you can have a new normal. You can be able to function normally. So therefore, if this door of embracing futilities of life has been blocked by this man who has refused to accept that change is not possible, then the next thing that happens is that he is not able to accept the futilities of life. Therefore, the only remaining door is the door that we call the door of unhealthy coping. And this is the door that we call the door of aggression or the door of fight. That is the only door through which frustration can flow out. Number one door, you have refused to accept, and therefore you are not also able to accept the door number two of embracing the futilities of life. I can see somebody telling me to share the spelling of alexithymia. Alexithymia spelling. is just ALXITHYMIA, alexithymia, normative male alexithymia. Thank you. So we can continue.
I was trying to type.
Oh, nice.
Alexithymia. AL.
It is AL EX ITH YMIA.
Okay. Done.
Normative male alexithymia. That they are not able to talk, not able to say anything, they become emotionally illiterate. So we go back to where we were, the door of aggression, the door of fight, because we have refused to accept that we are not able to change a situation. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this is now the door of aggression. And the door of aggression, in other words, we say, this is where a man begins to have unhealthy ways of coping. This could be, over drinking. Actually, somebody who was not even drinking, and all of a sudden they are swimming in alcohol. The next thing, they become another way to tell you that you are using the door of aggression is when you become highly irritable. At the slightest provocation, you erupt and you are not able to reason with anyone. The other thing to tell you that you are using an unhealthy way of coping is when you actually become depressed, because depression is your body telling you, it's the brain telling your body that I need to shut down. I am overwhelmed. Okay? The other thing, in its worst form, is when a man commits suicide, because suicide is a way of coping. It is an unhealthy way of coping. We actually say that people do not commit suicide because they want to die. People commit suicide because the pain around them is so overwhelming that they need to run away from it and secure themselves. So, an unhealthy way of coping can also manifest as suicide. Now, we need to make sure that we have got people to whom we can be vulnerable. Now, from infancy through age 4 or age 5, boys are more emotive than girls. Okay, this is research by somebody by the name Jude Chu. From infancy through age 4 or 5, boys are more emotive than girls. As they transit developmentally, we socialize this vulnerability out of them. Once they reach age 15 or 16, they begin to sound like, gender stereotypes. When they are adults, their expression of negative emotion is so much suppressed and impaired to the point that it erupts and expressed in outbursts. Now, the perceived threat of diminishing power is exposing ugly, at times frightening fault lines in the male psyche. Men suffer beneath the gravity of conventional masculinity. And this is what we are saying. If men are not in touch with the self, with the self's negative feelings, they hardly understand feelings of others. This is what we had said. They suffer emotional illiteracy. The result are intimate couple violence, homicide, suicide, and you can name it, because of emotional illiteracy. Now, it is important. Allow me, I don't know, Grace, whether in this meeting it is allowed to refer to the Holy Book, something that I came across, and it impressed me. because you know, there are men, like I said, who can never afford a laughter. And I came across a very interesting verse in Proverbs 14:13, and it says that laughter can conceal a heavy heart, but when laughter ends, the grief remains. This is interesting. Laughter can conceal a heavy heart, but when laughter ends, grief remains. Grief remains. Now, there are some of us who find it very hard to even afford a laughter. And in fact, if I may ask the people in the house, and especially men, when was the last time, and I want to be honest, and you can type something there. When was the last time you can remember you had a hysterical laughter? You know the hysterical laughter?
I'm
I
laughing
want to
because,
see.
yes, as they answer, I'm laughing because there's a friend of mine the other day, they were doing a challenge in the office and they needed to send photos of them laughing. And we actually tried looking, literally searching for photos of him laughing, and we could not, like him alone, like in laughter, zero. The only laughter he had was when he was with people. So yeah, I mean, Jared says about 50 minutes ago. Somebody says last
Amazing.
night.
2013.
Somebody says in 2013.
You know, this hysterical laughter, you know, yani ile unacheka mpaka bavu zinakauka.
You may need to translate that for the Rwandans and Ugandans.
Oh yeah. You know, the hysterical laughter is that laughter that you make. Maybe you have encountered something hilarious and it has, you know, you crack your ribs, you know. Laughter, it's very important. Like we have, in fact, even the Holy Book acknowledges. I wish I would know what Quran says about the same. It acknowledges the place of laughter. It is important. So don't get yourself trapped in this notion, like the one I had with my late grandfather, who would actually punish you because of laughing. And sometimes we grow up, you know, not wanting to laugh, and there is nothing that can make you feel good. Now, we need to ask ourselves, what is the remedy? What do we need to do as men? We need to redefine masculinity. Cultivating our natural capacity for emotional attunement and relationships is critical to our overall well-being. Natural capacity for emotional attunement, that you are emotionally attuned, you know, you are able to if it is a moment of laughter, it is a moment of laughter. If it is a moment of grief, you don't wear, you know, a nice fancy face to hide your grief. As a matter of fact, when I'm teaching about loss and grief, there's something interesting that I discovered, that even the way to help our families overcome grief and go through their grief as a result of whatever kind of loss they have gone through, and especially if you are with children, if you have a family and you have small children, one way of helping children grieve is actually by seeing their significant others, seeing their fathers, seeing their mothers shed tears. But what do? We shield them. We do not want them to see us at our point of vulnerability. And we think we are helping them. You know, and you say, I've had people saying during my counseling sessions that I have to be strong for them. I have to be strong for so and so. And the question that I ask such men, who is being strong for you? You know, it's so critical. Sometimes there are some things we have, you know, inherited, and we have, you know, made them become part of us because of what we learned, what we observed. And we rarely know that they are actually working against us. You know, we like hiding our grief. We do not want our families to know that we are grieving. And one way to overcome it, and as a matter of fact, even helping your family, this is research which has been done, is by them seeing you at your lowest moment. Okay? Cultivating our natural capacity for emotional attunement and relationships is critical to our overall well-being. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it is okay to express a negative feeling, and men's judgments should never be impaired by negative emotions. Men's judgments should never be impaired by negative emotions. But then there is also, sorry. I hope I'm still there. Thank you. Yes, asante sana. Now, there's something else I also needed to say, that, and this is something that I really tell men.
Moffat.
Hello. Yep.
Ati kuka yako alikuwa maumau waki.
Yes, he must have been one. Yeah, that you don't laugh, that only women laugh. You don't. And he would actually be very furious at that you have laughed, you know. And I never saw him laugh, actually. He was actually even feared throughout the village, you know, a man who never laughs. And he used to really carry that as a badge of honor. Little did he know that he's actually transmitting some very dangerous patterns and trajectories throughout generations. Now, I am seeing somebody asking, is this discussion only for men? I am keeping myself to the topic of the day. Otherwise, I believe it is also helping even our sisters, because this issue, like for example, the alexithymia, we also do have ladies who suffer from the same, you know, that they are not able to understand their own emotions, and they are not able to understand even others around them. And they actually hurt a lot without knowing. So, I'm not insinuating that men should cry aloud, because crying, as we said, maybe you have come in late. We said that you know, shedding tears or crying is just one of the many types of emotions. So by somebody saying that men should not cry, it's like trying to say that a man ought not to express an emotion, and emotions are of, you know, many kinds. As a matter of fact, even feeling angry, you know, there are times when people around you do not want to see you angry. You know, they don't want you to express your anger because maybe it makes them feel uncomfortable. So that is what we are saying, that it is okay for us to be congruent with our own emotions. But then, if it is an expression of a negative emotion, we must be careful not to be people who erupt, not to be people who cause harm, but it is okay to express an emotion appropriately. That's what I mean. Now, the other thing that I say as I draw close to my presentation is that I usually say that every man needs a man, you know, and so is a woman. And for women, I think it is needless to say, because for them, they have a way of opening up and being vulnerable to one another. So trying to limit myself to the topic of the day, I am saying that every man needs a man to whom he can be vulnerable and he is able to express an emotion. Again, when I am speaking in a religious context, I usually tell people that, Jesus is a very good model of a man who doesn't shy away from expressing an emotion to his fellow men, because we saw it and we see it in the Bible, and especially when he was at the verge of being crucified, and we see him telling his disciples he had singled out 12. From the 12, he singled out 3, Peter, John, and James, and from the 3, he singled out 1. The Bible talks of the disciple that Jesus loved most, and we see him walking with him all the way to the cross. So I usually like saying that every man needs a man that you can express, to whom you can express how you're feeling, because sometimes when we do not express how we are feeling, and sometimes every time I'm talking about this, I'm reminded of this young man he featured in the news, who traveled all the way from Thika to Eldoret to go and butcher his girlfriend, and we saw it. And I kept asking myself, from Thika to Eldoret, what was happening in the mind of this man? How about if he had a man who probably could have intercepted him and, they could have had a conversation where he could have told him, what you want to do is not right. Hey, you need to compose yourself. You need to express your anger appropriately. Your disappointment, express them appropriately. Maybe I want to believe so, that loss of that young girl could not have taken place. That's why I say it is important for each one of us to have someone that we can speak to when you feel overwhelmed. That one person, like the way Jesus chose the 12, 3, and the 1. And I think that is the one he felt so vulnerable to, because we see him addressing him even when he's hanging on the cross, telling him, there is your mother, and telling his mother, there is your son. Stuff like that. So it is important for us to make sure that we are able to express our feelings, because it is okay. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to feel overwhelmed, because you are human and you are natural. But what is it that you do with your anger? What is it that you do with that feeling of hopelessness and that feeling of frustration? Thank you so much. I want to throw it back to you, Grace. Maybe we could pick a question or two, but otherwise, I'm looking at the time. I don't know what time you usually finish.
Yeah, we can take a couple of questions if you allow. There's somebody who's saying, men who feel bad when you express your emotions, they do not want you to be sad, cry, say something on this. They want you to always be happy. Eh?
Yeah, and I think this is the reason why I'm saying, even in moments of grief and loss, and when we are in a state of despondency, I think we've grown up in a culture and a society that does not want us, or that feels uncomfortable. And this is the same reason, actually, when I attend burials, and you see people in the name of consoling the mourners, and they will tell them, it is okay, you don't cry, it shall be all right. And some of them, the religious people, you have seen them rebuking demons. And and I keep telling people there is no demon in expressing grief. It is the only way that God created, a way of expressing our deep-seated pain. So there is no demon around that. So because of that, because the ones who are not grieving and mourning like you do, it's like they feel uncomfortable, and they feel like I mean, this feeling, this atmosphere is not right for how you are expressing yourself. And I keep saying, it is important for people to be allowed to grieve their way, to feel sad their way. The only thing that such a man ought to do is to offer support, is to offer reassurance, is to let them know that we are grieving, we are experiencing this together, but I'm here for you. Asante.
Thank you for that. There's a question here by Madangani. As a matter of learning, there were hardly any suicide or mental illnesses during my grandfather's time, and of course, no loud laughter. How did they cope with stress and frustration?
I want to say, this is not a new phenomenon. It was there, even those times. But because of the way, number one, the communication that we have today, you know, and the awareness, it makes it feel, or it makes people feel or think that it wasn't there. For me, as a mental health practitioner, I think because of this knowledge, I have reflected many times about what used to happen when I was growing up. And the other day, I counted some now cases of mental illnesses then, which I could not recognize because I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. And I counted a number of people whom we knew are suffering from, psychotic challenges, who committed suicide, who hanged themselves, who did all manner of things, but it was not spoken about. There was so much stigma around it. There was a lot of superstition, attitude towards the same. It couldn't be communicated, but it was there.
And you remember it used to be referred as a curse. Remember,
absolutely.
If your family, and if you had a suicide case in your family, you'd be communicated as an entire family.
And you become an outcast.
Completely. And this is where even on marital, when they were matching, what do we call it? Choosing partners back then, they would do a background. If your family has a mental case or has had cases of suicide, you would never be matched with anyone. You'd actually be left out as an outcast. So it was actually there. It's probably the name that was not what we call it now.
Absolutely.
And you remember they used to say the crazy people in the market. They keep saying that every market has a crazy person or something like that. Yeah. That was a thing from back in the day. So it was there, but I don't think it had been given the limelight it has now.
Absolutely.
And then there's Miriam who says, there are men who show emotions only when drunk. Please comment on this.
Yes, if I take you back to that diagram I wanted to show you, we talked about drinking as a way of coping. And there are people who feel so vulnerable, and this vulnerability makes them feel so uncomfortable that they have to wear another face. And for them to be able to have that another face, they have to take one or two so that they can get into a different version of themselves to be able to talk about something. So again, it's another challenge. Not because that they only talk when they are drunk, but because maybe when they are sober, they feel so vulnerable and they fear being vulnerable to the point that they have to wear another hat so that they can be able to speak out what they are feeling. Yeah.
Okay. There's a question here. I was just read an interesting comment, but there's a question here. Sometimes your wife may expose your secrets like bed weakness. Should I cry?
Come again?
Sometimes your wife may expose your secrets, like being probably bed weakness, like weaknesses in bed, whether they should cry.
It is okay to express your feelings and your emotions, But then, in such a situation, as a marriage therapist, we actually like asking people to seek help, because that which they call weakness is in the mind. And the moment you sit down with professionals to walk you through the journey, even as we empower that woman, that challenge gets sorted. Yeah,
that's true. And I know you'll be sharing with us your contact details for those of us who wish to come and see you. But as you do that, there's another question. There's a friend of mine who has really gone to extreme drinking. I took him to rehab by force, but he's back to drinking and not in good terms with me. Please comment on how will I help him?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that question. From the professional angle, we usually say, because in counseling is a place where we do not judge and we do not look at the presenting problem only. We usually say, to a large extent, whenever you see somebody into such heavy drinking, there is an underlying issue. But many times, we only come to respond to the presenting problem, which is the drinking. But not many people have the skills to get into the underlying problem so that this man can tell you what he is running away from. Because drinking, to a large extent, that excessive drinking is running away from something. So they need to be given unconditional positive regard. You have used a strong word there that you forced him into rehab. I like saying that if the underlying challenge has not been dealt with, this man has not been given time to say what is making him behave the way he does. Even if you force them, they do not own up that process. And therefore, it is important for us to help them to own up the process of healing, because there must be some underlying challenges that they are running away from. Thank you.
That's true, and I think because we did a session on alcoholism, where we hosted someone who has actually been an alcoholic, and if you can listen to that, you probably could understand what Moffat is talking about, more so from the what. I'm avoiding the use of the word addiction. You can understand it from your friends. You can understand it from your friend's perspective. So I'm just gonna copy that link and share with you there on here, so that you can probably have a look. So Moffat, so what are some of the safe spaces for men? Where, where, because this is a new thing they are trying to learn. So how do we create safe spaces, or where can they find safe spaces?
Thank you so much. Safe spaces can be found in many places, including in their social gatherings. Like if you are able to identify a number of friends, this could be maybe at your place of worship, at your place of work. You know, there's a way you are able to form a team, a support team, and you make it your safe space. It is also important for you sometimes to go through a professional who is able to probably guide you to a group, like the host that you have on Saturday, Simon Bevy, my friend. I know he does the man enough. A very nice, safe space, you know, for men to just express their feelings without feeling judged. Yeah, so something like that. So even Grace, even you and I can start a safe space, you know, for our men, where they can come and they can be guided, they can express their pain, they can be listened to. Yeah, and they are able to heal and to spring back to their original functioning.
So probably this is the other question I could ask. How can we support men in seeking therapy?
Come again?
How can we sort of normalize therapy for men?
Yeah, a lot of awareness is needed, where they need to know that seeking help is not weakness. And they also need to hear testimonies of some men who have gone through the process and they have been assisted. Sometimes I have used a lot of methods to have a man come for therapy. And number one, because, and especially maybe where they are having issues with spouses and stuff like that, or they are having issues that are not socially speakable, and they feel like they are going to be judged. And I have had ways of, just having them come. And when they come, we don't even talk about their problem per se. I just make them feel secure and safe by assuring them that this is a place where you cannot be judged. And I know how difficult it is for a man to speak out their challenges. And it is okay for you to say at this particular point what you feel you are able to say. Whatever you feel like it is not time for you to say, it is still okay. So I show a lot of patience, with them. And by the end of the day, you realize that they are able to, speak out their issues. I have shared my number over there, just in case someone needs to contact me.
There's somebody who's asking, how can you help someone who has refused to see a therapist?
Number one, even the approach that sometimes we use, and allow me to say this, in a marriage context, for example, I have seen people, both men and women, who keep telling their partners, you need a therapist, or even families. That statement in itself is already judgmental. And chances are they are not going to do what you are saying. Even children, even teenagers, I have encountered children whose parents say, you need to see a counselor. That statement is already stigmatizing, judgmental, and stuff like that. Now, and I keep asking such people, how about if you said to such a man, number one, demonstrating empathy and care to them and telling them, hey, of late, I have realized that I feel like you are struggling with something, and how I wish if you could share so that we can carry this burden together. You start from a point whereby they feel that you are part and parcel of their problem, so that even when you come to the point of suggesting for a counselor or therapist, they are not going to feel judged. They are going to feel accepted, and they are going to feel that you want to offer your support for them. But when you point your fingers like this and tell them, you have a lot of problems, you need to see a counselor, it's already judgmental, and they will not accept. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. Or you say you have a problem, or I keep telling you have an issue, you have refused to see a therapist. That one, of course, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And that will not work. Probably, yeah. Where is that question?
I can see one. Can a safe space be a team of football you support? Sometimes when I watch a team I support play, when in stress, I feel better. Yes, it is okay, but a safe space is actually a place where you can have a conversation, with people. You can vent out your issues. You can talk about how you're feeling. But if you are able to form a football team, or you support a particular team, you can float such an idea, and it can actually become a safe space for you.
That's true. And then what role can friends and family play in supporting men's mental health?
Just like we have said in the previous response, the biggest role in my years of practice that I pure families ought to play. Number one is by not being judgmental, because I think judgmental attitudes, to a large extent, come from families. And creating a safe atmosphere in that home to the point that somebody feels that when the outside world is hurting, I can run to my home and I can have my wounds dressed, I can be listened to. That is the greatest role that you can play, because then out of that, you are now able to link your loved one to a specialized help, to a professional for help. Asante.
That's correct. And for this conversation and much more, please send your men out there. And if you are a man, please join us on Saturday. If you're here in Nairobi, please come, or even from wherever it is, so long as you're around and you can get to ABSA. Please come and have this conversation. We have Baby Simon Transform Nations. We have City Muga as well, who will be in the house. And we have Chris Sakwa, among others, who will be there sharing and having conversations and networking and just talking about men as leaders. You know, there's an assumption that every man who is born is naturally a leader. In fact, I was having a conversation when somebody saw this and it was like, what do you mean that men are leaders? And I said that men are, even us women in leadership, our mark for leadership is actually measured by the men, how they have set up the leadership. So it's expected that men are natural born leaders. But we all know and have come to learn that leadership, you grow and develop over a period of time. So please send your friends, your relatives, or come yourselves, and let's have a wonderful conversations on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. At ABSA Sports Club on Thika Road. That's near KCA. At only 4,000 bob, and that's the till number. And if you pay in the next 20 minutes, you can pay 3,800. That is up to 940. If you pay after 940, then you'll be back to 4,000 shillings. So take advantage of that offer for now. So Moffat, if you can give us your parting shots.
Thank you so much, Grace. My parting shot is that it is okay not to be okay. That's number one. And that men can always, there are so many men outside there who are willing to support. And therefore, a man ought not to shy away from telling his friends how he is feeling. So other than that, you can visit my website to see more of what I do, and I have sent it over there. And you can reach out for any help. I'm only a phone call away. Thank you so much, Grace.
Thank you. And Moffat has shared his number there. You can reach out to him. From those who are not around Kenya, you can use +254, and his number is there. So feel free to reach out to Moffat for your therapy and safe spaces, or even for training needs in your organizations. He's a wonderful speaker, that I can tell you for a fact. So that's Moffat's number. Rosemary Ongeri, did you want to say something? Rosemary Ongeri, your hand is up.
Oh, sorry, maybe it was by a mistake, but thank you.
You have muted yourself, but we hear you on that. So thank you very much, good people, for being with us. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for joining Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. Today, the session was actually dedicated to redefining masculinity. So it was focusing on understanding men. And because we need to really support our brothers, our sisters, our brothers, our fathers, our husbands, our cousins, and all the main friends that you may have, because we have a responsibility to make the world a better place. So, and if you cannot be anything, be a support system, be that safe space for your friends and for your loved ones. So thank you very much for joining Tara Solutions. Please follow us on Instagram, Tara Solutions, like our Facebook page, Atara Solutions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions. The recording of this session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, which is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. And you can also join us on Saturday for the men's meet and greet and get to network with men and create. It is a safe space actually for the men, and you will get to learn, network, and also just hang out, make new friends, and just probably meet your old friends. It will be a wonderful day that we have set aside for the men. And this was a demand from them when we had the ladies event in March. So I think you're really welcome for that. So if you want to know what's happening with Get It Right with Atara Solutions, Brian Mosisi 256 was invited. I sent you an email. Please check. And you need to be here. And if you're not here, I can plan for one in Uganda, and then you bring the people. I will be happy to do that because we all need to come together to support that. So please join our WhatsApp group to know more about what's happening on Get It Right with Atara Solutions. We will be here next week on Tuesday, same time, same place, with a totally different topic, most likely on entrepreneurship. I think it's been a while since we tackled a topic on entrepreneurship. So please join us I'm just sharing our WhatsApp group link. Please join us on that link, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, where we upload all the recordings. So thank you very much, Moffat, for your input. We've really enjoyed and have learned a lot, and I hope the men here will be able to practice the tips that you've given us. Catherine Sidandi, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you. And Brian and Andrew and the other friends of mine from Kampala, I really appreciate. It's amazing to see you. Yes, and you can join on Saturday from my booth because I will not be in the room. However, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. We appreciate you, and we shall see you next Tuesday, same time, same place.